What's up guys, MainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always, and me, I'm doing great, thanks for asking. And today I'm making a video on, lo and behold, Zafina. Can't say I love the character, but she's part of Tekken history, literally, covered in dust. And why is that? Well, let's just start off by saying, do you even know who this character is? Many of you watching this video probably have no clue whatsoever. You might actually say like, oh, I think that's Zafina introduced in Tekken 6. But you have no idea how she plays, right? Because that's me. This is a character that's been in Tekken for 13 years. I mean, I think she was revealed in 2006. And for this video, I had to do a lot of research because honestly, I had no clue. How wonderful isn't that? As much as I play Tekken, I just have no idea. And this is because she was so underused, so underplayed. And this is why she didn't make it to Tekken 7. And why you will probably, well, most likely never ever see her in a Tekken game again. I think it's safe to say that she's gone for good, because her character usage data was so abysmal. And it's quite unfortunate because she has a lot of interesting stuff going on. Just look at her fighting style. She's very mystical, it's very cool. Ever since I saw her for the first time, I thought she was quite eye-catching. You know, she's kind of cool and her outfit is nice. This is the Tarantula stance, Scarecrow, kind of cool stuff you can do from that. And then Mantis with the obnoxious spastic fuck animations, like punk rocker doing a lot of meth. Probably looks like this or this. I mean, some of these moves will have your opponent laughing to death so you can beat him up as he drops the controller. But you gotta give it to her that she was very, very original. Almost reminds you a little bit of Voldo, to be honest, in Soul Calibur. So a very interesting character with stances. But unfortunately, she just didn't catch on with the player base. No one played her. So she went away. Too bad. I'm sure Harada is probably disappointed in that. You could tell a lot of work went into this character. I mean, the animations are quite beautiful. It's very well made. So yeah, just showing a couple of moves that were loved by people who like to press buttons. So again, a pretty cool character. She has 3 unique stances. What we can say about her though is that she is terrible. But that doesn't mean a character isn't played. Obviously the design didn't catch on. Kuma in this game, terrible. Yoshimitsu, terrible, but a lot of people play those characters. But yes, Zafina, garbage character, garbage. But she was buffed a little bit from Tekken 6. In Tag 2, she's still terrible. But in Tekken 6, it's almost P-Jack Tag 1 territory, where she is literally, it's impossible to win a match with Zafina. It was popular to say with the Koreans that it was easier to play Devil Jin with a blindfold than it was to play Zafina at any given day, because she was so useless in Tekken 6. And there's actually one, I mean, her frame data, everything was launch punishable. They fixed some of it, but remember, she's still terrible in Tag 2. But in Tekken 6, I mean, just to give you an infamous example, this down back 4 low here. So you gotta remember now, not on block, but when it connected like this, on hit, it was -12. So that means that Kazuya, for example, after eating this, you would punish Zafina with 1+2. Yes, on hit, it was -12. You would eat a -12 punish. So yeah, it was just where Tekken player veterans just go, they can't believe when they read the frame data, because every single move is so punishable and lackluster. So what can we say about the character? High risk, high reward, although reward very mediocre. Huge risk, very sluggish, slow, can often be interrupted. So a mix-up heavy character with the stances, but she only has 94 moves. I mean, only, that's still, well, it's like an average character, to be honest. Leia has more mix-ups, is less interruptible, less sluggish in my opinion. Her punishment is terrible, just like Lei, but she just feels overall much more interruptible and sluggish than Lei, in my opinion. And just like Lei, you want to interrupt her when she tries to go into stances from strings, etc. But we're actually going to take a look at some moves, and we're going to start with just the key moves for Tekken characters. Downward 1, her downward 1 is 13 frames fast, so that's good. And it has some range. But unfortunately on block it's -5. And this is due to the move having extensions. As soon as you have extensions on a downward 1, it usually drops down to like -2 or -3 on block. But -5 is still like, I don't know if any other character has such a crap downward 1 on block. That's really weak. On hit, it's +7. But just to give you a reference, Heihachi's downward 1, which has an extension, you know, his downward 1 is 13 frames fast, -1 on block, and +9 on hit. So that's just a reference for you guys. But it does have extensions in downward 1 4 and downward 1 2. These are natural combos, but downward 1 2, the mid-mid, launch punishable on block. Downward 1 4, natural combo, but that's mid-high, so if you duck that, you die. And then you have downward 1 2 1, which is not a natural combo, of course, but if you want to try and catch people pressing buttons or dropping their guard, you can do that. But that again, I think, is like at least -14. Yeah, it's -14. So that comes with risk, you know. And if I'm playing Paul, you're gonna get launch punished. Except I'm fucking up the punish. Oh no, she has enough pushback to dodge that. That's kind of cool. But still, yeah, you see the punishment damage in this game. You see her health bar. So yeah, this is a game where you don't want to take unnecessary risks, especially if there's a chance to hop kick you. I mean, getting launch punished in Tag 2 hurts more than any other Tekken game, and when you play Zafina where everything is launch punishable, you're gonna have trouble. But so that was the downward 1. And now I want to show you guys a move that a lot of people like to use. 1+2 was kind of cool. It's a counter hit mid launcher, but it's -12 on block and it's a bit slow. But here people like to do this was loved by Zafina players. And again, you never saw the character, so a lot of people got away with a lot of shit. So people love to do this. And at first glance, this is actually pretty okay, because on counter hit, yeah, it floats you, you eat all of it. All the hits are mid, and on block, it's -11. So it's like, I don't risk too much, right? I might catch him off guard, you know, at some point during this string. But as soon as you went up to people who knew this matchup, it's like, okay, you're trying that, I'll just interrupt you. And this is the case with so many other strings. If she stops mid-string, she's like -1,000,000. So you often want to finish the string to be less punishable, like -10. But so many of the strings are interruptible mid-string. And as soon as you went up against someone who knew this matchup, it's like, it was impossible to play Zafina. The only thing the Zafina players, the few of them they were, the 2 of you, although I heard one of you guys died at a retirement home yesterday, rest in peace. The only thing you guys had was people not knowing anything about your character. But she was impossible to play competitively because those guys labbed, and then, bam, you just had nothing. But so that string was a little bit interesting. And again, some people like, oh wait, we're gonna reset. Some people like to do this, Super Zafina into follow-up. She goes into Tarantula. But again, I think every single follow-up can be interrupted by this. So just like Lei, she has a hard time transitioning into her stances, but where Lei has the amazing Razor Rush to mix you up into any stance, Zafina is left with often super mediocre or downright bad, rubbish strings. And then, oh, this one was loved by Zafina players. We saw, to this day, I remember Zafina players doing this. And why did they do this string? Because it had a lot of pushback. So like, oh my god, my punish, it whiffs. But the thing is, if you knew how to punish this, she was minus 18. So yeah, wow, oh, a clean hit Death Fist, easily connects. Oh, I dropped Death Fist. So again, if you just knew, what moves to do here, I get an easy win God Fist. You see, I don't even have to electric. That's a punish. So yeah, just this string that many Zafinas got away with, it's got pushback, but it's minus 18. Usually strings that look like that have pushback and are minus 13 or minus 14. But yeah, Zafina, you just no luck whatsoever here. And then she had a move a bit like Anna's, let's see. 442, which is has plus frames on block. Not a lot. I think it could even just be +1 or something, or +2. And it's a homing knockdown. But range is not too good. Quite easy to make this whiff. And of course it's a high. But it's still worth mentioning, it's an okay-ish move. But honestly, let's just look at her punishment. Punishment is terrible. For example, the classic down for 2 is 16 frames. So she doesn't have a 15 frame launcher because her hop kick is 17 frames. Yes. Her hop kick is 17 frames. I mean, even Lei has a 15 frame down for 2 and hop kick. And so Zafina, it's like no luck ever. So down for 2 is 16 frames and it's minus 12. Hop kick is minus 13. And then when it came to while standing punish, you have a very low damage while standing 1-2. Does no damage because the first hit staggers or floats the opponent. So it does no damage, but it is a 15 frame while standing launcher. But to be fair, most characters can hop kick there. And this is minus 13. I think you can even interrupt, to be honest, between the hits. Or maybe you can't? Okay. I think it's jab. Oh, it's jab interruptible. But so a very sluggish move, but that's still there. Actually a good move she has is forward 4. That's a knockdown mid, that's fast, and it's homing. You know, it's a pretty good move. It's perfectly safe, homing, long range mid knockdown that wall splats. So that's actually one decent move she has. Let's see. Oh, and when it comes to punishment, I do want to go into her big while standing launcher that comes in at 18 frames. That is minus 14. But there were two ways she could actually cancel out of it with a roll. So first I'll do the normal, and then I'll do... Oh, shit. Let's see. I'm gonna record both. This one and this one. You saw the back roll there. That was something a lot of Zafinas used to try and mix you up so you didn't get your punish afterwards. So that one is minus 14, but that one is actually minus 40. So I'll take Paul. So again, that was a punish. you get launched there at minus 14. Oh, sorry. Well, I mean, most characters don't have a 14 frame launcher, but I'm just showing you that, okay, with Paul, we can really make it hurt here. Wow, isn't that the combo? What the fuck? Okay, we'll just do that, I guess. But the thing is, even if you did the mix-up, you were so minus that, as you see, you would get wrecked most of the time. But of course, they have to know which one you go for, because if you do the roll and I'm doing back 3, it's gonna whiff. But most people, being very predictable with all, you like to use the roll back. And again, it's minus 40. It is incredibly punishable. But oh, there is some crushing there towards the end. Oh god, missed the punish. It's super easy. You see? I don't even have to be fast. And so again, just Zafina being incredibly punishable. We're gonna take a look at her lows, and then I'm gonna show a little bit of her stances. But unfortunately, her stances overall were pretty crap. Zafina mains kind of agreed that the stances just don't work very well. There's not enough mix-up potential. The moves are kind of crap. But let's take a look at the lows. And here it really is launch punish city. So I'm gonna start with strings that went into lows because those were loved by Zafinas. This is 2-1-3. Not a huge reward. You get a knockdown with some damage. But of course, this is like minus 18, I think. So you get a while standing 2. And Zafina dies, basically. And then we had... This is also just looks like a very simple, shouldn't be too punishable string, right? Look at this. I mean, that little sweep there. No damage, no knockdown. I don't even think she even gets any good frames here. Because she dances around afterwards. But this low here is minus 18, I think. So again, she gets destroyed. Destroyed. And then we're gonna look at her... what the hell have I written here? I can't even read my own writing. Let's just look at down 3, which is actually a move she got in tag 2, which kind of saved her a little bit from being, you know, the absolute worst character of all time. This is actually a decent low. It doesn't have as much range as you'd think. You see the roll and you're like, wow, crazy range. But she extends her legs so little towards the end there that there really isn't that much range. But it is +4 on hit. Unfortunately, it's minus 13. So quite a lot of characters in this game will launch you. You have 3 capos in this game that were played a lot. They would all launch you here. Kazuya would launch you. Bruce launches you. It's not too many, but yeah, it's still like minus 13. If it would have been minus 12, it probably would have been a really good low. But still, it's a good low. It's +4. So that was kind of a little saving grace. And then you had down back 3, which is only minus 11, which is good. On hit, it's neutral, so it's 0. Both you and the opponent recover as quickly. But the range just really... Safina players, let me tell you, they desired more range than this. So again, I just want to just... In contrast to Kazuya's down back 4, which is a similar low. Notice the range of Kazuya's down back 4 and Zafina's down back 3. standing quite close to her. It really is night and day. And Kazuya's just has 50 times better frames. So yeah, Trouble in Paradise to say the least. And then the move we talked about earlier, down back 4, people usually use this with its extension, down back 4-2. Down back 4 on its own on block is minus 14, I think. But this is not a natural combo. If she hits you on counter hit, she gets the full thing. But it's just very risky as you're gonna eat a... I think you're minus 13 here. Yes, that worked. That didn't work. So she's minus 13. So yeah, it's just not the best move in the world, to be honest. And then we're gonna take a look at her Hell Sweep. Oh yeah, your eyes go like this now. Wow, finally a good move. Well, it's just that her Hell Sweep was Snake Edge speed. It's literally, I think it's like 28 frames. To give you some contrast, Sebastian's and Lily's Snake Edge in this game are 27 frames. This is 1 frame slower, and you get Hell Sweep damage. You see how slow it is? Where's the fucking Hell Sweep? 28 frames fast. I think... Is she minus 14 afterwards? I think she is. Yeah, she's minus 14 afterwards. So Paul gets a launch here. But most characters will not launch you. The problem is just that the move is so slow between the hits that, for example, I can twin piston interrupt here. Any move that's 14 frames fast, 15 frame doesn't work. So for example, if I hop kick, I will trade with her. We trade. But 14 frames and faster will go in between here. So again, if you were up against someone who knew what they were doing and they played, and suddenly you have way more characters. Jinpachi, 14 frames standing launch, while standing launcher. Bob, same thing. Jin, same thing. And you have 2 Bobs in this game. So suddenly the list of characters that can go in between here, you know, remember the Capos and Bruce. Suddenly you have a lot of characters that will go in between. And of course, you get a counter hit. So suddenly a character that doesn't while standing launch punish quickly, Brian, he does while standing free in between here and he gets a launch. So suddenly, you know, you expand the list of characters that can really fuck you up in between here. And again, well, what did she get? Hell Sweep damage, and it's super slow. So again, that's just quite laughable, to be honest. And I wanted to show. God damn it! I know she had a homing move. I wanted to show you guys. Where the fuck did I put that move? Is it back 1+2? Oh, wrong input. This is kind of a cool low due to the range it has. It's kind of nice, but as you can see, it does no damage, even on counter hit, very little. So you're like, oh, that should be a good low, and it's like, minus 16. Yep. Boom. This character just can't catch a break. She just can't. But honestly, there was a homing move. Oh shit! Oh god, this is also one I really love. Just like Leo, she has a full crouch down for 3. These moves are very similar, like to Leo's. Full crouch, down for 3, a knockdown, long range sweep. But where Leo has a lot of range, Zafina doesn't. And she can do a follow-up with Super Mantis down for 4 afterwards. But as you can see, she doesn't get a lot of damage, but this staggers on block. I don't think Leo's does that. So yeah, you get launched. Boom. You're fucked. So, yeah, everything just hurts so much on block. Honestly, I want to show you guys that homing move because it was pretty cool. You see, even in this game, they've marked the homing moves. It's not that one. It's not back fist, I think. Oh, down for 1+2, I think it is. Like, it's super slow. I think it's like 30 frames or something. But I think it actually launches on normal hit, and it's a homing. And I think it's -12 on block. Oh, is it only -10 perhaps? Yeah, oh, it's -10. And it has some range, as you can see. But it's super slow. She's dancing in front of the opponent. So yeah, risky due to you can be counter hit in between, but still a pretty interesting move. But I've talked for a long time now about Zafina. So I just want to show you guys a few options from the stances that honestly weren't too good. But yeah, the character's just so lackluster. But Scarecrow 1+2 was pretty interesting. People would do 1-3 into this. Very interruptible in between on block. The move is slow, but it's got good frames on block. And as you can see on hit, it knocks down for a guaranteed follow-up. On counter hit, she actually gets a launch for big damage. So that move was pretty cool. And Scarecrow 3-3-4 was used on people who didn't know the matchup. If you knew the matchup, this is ridiculously slow, and that low is of course launch punishable, as with everything. And Tarantula was pretty interesting. 1+2 flying Shabarabi. Down 1 the spastic rock and roller. 4-3 was pretty interesting. She had some interesting strings people like to do here, like abuse these lows. But everything is of course very weak frame-wise. And then you had what the hell have I just written here? Oh right, from Tarantula she actually has a safe mid launcher. So you have some lows to annoy the opponent. Wait, I'm gonna record this. So we annoy the opponent with a low, and then that's actually a safe mid launcher. The only problem is that it's 32 frames. It's very, very, very slow. You see how slow it is? But it's a safe mid launcher. But yeah, let's hope the opponent is just staring at you. And the low there, oh, she gets floated out of it. I think she's always floated out of Tarantula, to be honest, when you hit her. Yeah, everything just hurt very much. Everything is very interruptible. But yeah, so I hope I taught you a little bit about Zafina today, the character that you will never ever see again. But she was a bit interesting, she was just severely flawed, and I think her design, although I found it pretty interesting, it's never caught on with player base, unfortunately. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a nice day. Take care.